So, like,
the average age is just under 20 years old for this team.
Whereas, you know, as we've been saying, EG, like, vets. You know, if you think of a team, like, obviously Smells still a young kid. Like this, they've been around forever. They've been playing at international events. You know, in S4 Tal's case, for near a decade at this point, going all the way back to Heroes of Newerth. So this is a team with a lot of experience. EHOME with a lot to prove. Already top 6 at this tournament. Yep. Best placement of anyone who's won a minor thus far. Yeah. Although it is only the second major.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of sample size for that one. Naha's probably just rolled over on that Dota for a bit. How do you actually like the draft coming in here from EHOME? Because EG picked up kind of exactly what we thought they would pick up. The only kind of like weird curveball which fits this draft perfectly is the Clockwork for S4, an old school staple hero of his. But how do you like it against EHOME, going for one of your favorite heroes, the Lashrak, and the combination with everything else?
Well, it's funny. I was talking some shit with Bulba just before this went live, and he was laughing about how EHOME is like the complexity gaming of China, and they're going to run at you. They're going to play for more of the mid game, and they typically just want to smash you into oblivion and take your towers, your racks by like 25 minutes or so, 30 minutes. And we're thinking of all these ideas, something maybe a PL, a drought. EHOME's just like, nah, we're going to double down, run this no carry setup, and bank on their ability to just take total map dominance around that Tinker.
Hey, you say no carry. We've seen a lot of power coming in from the Tinkers. Of course, we have also seen that in combination with Soulbind, but it's the Tinker running the safe lane for Ego, and we've actually got ASD taking the Lashrak towards the mid. So, as most people would predict, the lanes switch up.
I mean, I don't know if anyone's predicting a safe lane Tinker coming out, but I love the 22-pick clock from EG. It's incredibly good against the entire EHOME draft. They need Force Staff, and that's a big timing for just the way they want to play the game, really. You can't take an engagement against EG if S4 is on point. Yesterday, bit of a rough day. Look for him to have a lot more impact on a hero that, you know, doesn't need as much time as like these Beastmasters and Doom to come online. He'll be level 6, and he's able to kill anyone he wants on the side of EHOME.
But at the same time, like, you go up against the 3-position Darkseer. Tiny and Darkseer are going to do their normal creep skip on bottom. Hey, this time S4 is not going to burn his TP. He's actually going to walk the lane, in fact, clogging him up. But this kind of helps EHOME, because the creeps will remain exactly where they are, so they will burn out before they even reach the tower. And Clockwork's not great at sitting underneath this tower. In fact, even with the Iron Shells, they can just keep walking next to S4. Cause him some problems, but keep your eyes on the other lanes too. It's an aggressive try lane from EG on top.
Yeah, I would say this lane setup favors EG. You're going to be shutting down the Tinker, and Terrorblade's going to have a couple of free waves. Expect the Tusk to or the Tiny to rotate towards top. However, bottom lane, yeah, you can pressure a clock, but I would argue that S4 is going to use that net worth advantage a lot better, just because you just need a couple of core items. You hit level 6, and now you're a force on the map. That Lashrak mid, the Tinker top, S4 can go wherever he wants. Darkseer, not that same type of hero. He's more about slow and steady pressure. He needs his allies to help him make plays.
Yep. But he's just going into the jungle for the moment. They blocked up camp. He wants to pull to and free farm up, but we're watching Faith Beyond getting a double stack of the creeps. Not something he can easily farm by himself, but it's giving this 1v1 matchup of Tiny versus the Clockwork, which is another fun matchup. Let's make it a triple stack, because 1 and 2's not enough, but up on top lane, Innocence being forced back through the tree line. He'll go for a return dual breath on crit and fly, but Ego, he's still only a level 1 Tinker. Not a lot of burst damage to arrive from him, but Innocence is creating the space against Fly.
Yeah, so this is a cool trade. EHOME is saying, like, the Tiny stays bottom to prevent S4 from pulling waves to that hard camp, which would slow down, it slows down his acceleration. But what you're doing is also then sacking your top lane. You actually move the Tinker towards bottom, but this is a level 3 Clockwork already. Really curious movement from EHOME.
Yeah, and even Faith Beyond, his timing in the mid lane was a little bit wrong. He dragged 2 of the creeps back. I don't know if he's trying to mess with Sumail, but thanks to the 2 Observer Wards that were placed down by EG, they see any kind of movement off the bottom lane into mid. And now is a tri-lane on bottom. Man, S4, he's going to start this game the way he started the series yesterday, being hunted down by the opposition. But the Cogs, this is why Clockwork's so damn good. He creates such space, and they just walk it off. Tusker, as well as Phoenix, have already rotated to bottom lane. So if EHOME force the issue, they could pay for it.
This is something a lot of teams have been theory crafting. You know, what offlaner can go to his safe lane into this disadvantageous 2-1-1 matchup and
jumps forward. The ice path from Innocence catching out to Ego. Ego. Well, toss him back, and this is where EHOME can win the positional battle at least.
I kind of feel like this favors EG. Like top now, you have a free farm Terrorblade, and Faith Beyond still with shenanigans.
They're going in after Ego. They know that Tinker can't move away, but that's why Jakiro is there. Ice Path, that's his last ability he can cast. There's no mana left for anything else. But this free farming Terrorblade, you got him, but again, you're seeing Faith Beyond doing his little pull through. He's grabbing the creep wave and causing more problems. And then they just let the mid matchup to go, which is 18-1 to the 22-4. That's a pretty close lane for the mid because no one else can influence it. They're all too busy fighting on the side lanes.
This is one thing, regardless of meta, I think that a lot of viewers, fans, and probably IceFrog are content with the state of the game where mid is now that pure 1v1 most of the time. Yep. It just feels like Dota games are better when the mid players have this opportunity to really strut their stuff. Not that, you know, remember when there was just 3 heroes mid the whole game?
I remember when Lich Sacrifice was a thing. Oh, they've sacrificed the creep. The mid lane's already completely imbalanced now.
Yeah, this is a bit weird from EHOME though, because they're the ones on the clock. Like, they don't actually have any sort of right-click carry.
Wow, Faith Beyond. I love this from him. He plays Darkseer the way Universe used to play Darkseer. Like, obviously without the creep skipping kind of thing, but aggressive up in the face and actually go for the kills. Doesn't matter if you're alone. He'll take a 1v1 against a Terrorblade, who, even though he's got Metamorphosis, doesn't have Sunder. There's pressure that can be applied. Clockwork on bottom lane. They're looking for a kill onto Innocence, trapping him inside the cog, but with the support of Ego, it won't come to anything.
Ego's, however, level 2, and EG may look to dive here. You don't have Battery Assault for a few moments, so he should be, yeah, he'll be fine. He's actually just going to pull the creeps behind tower.
That's even perfect for Jakiro to back off. He's going to stack, and this way is solo experience for the Tinker.
Exactly. Tinker needs his XP. This is the hero that's got a snowball. Both Lesh and Tinker, they love having this nice start. XP-dependent heroes more so than gold. And whenever you can get free waves like that when you're behind.
Faith Beyond with the confidence underneath a Metamorphosis Terrorblade stands his ground. So EHOME will claim 3 of the 5-minute bounty runes.
The Fly places a nice word on mid, so they will notice ASD running towards that top shrine. Good efficiency as Faith Beyond's also farming up some jungle camps. They'll both utilize that.
I like that little tip from ASD. It's like, hey, Samael, like I appreciate everything you do. Later on, I'll cross you. But for bottom lane, you've actually got Tusker starting initiation. Jakiro arrives, double Ice Path. They're fighting inside the marks. The machines is not good for EG because there's more support arriving. It's Tiny in through the rear, tossing back S4. This should be the first blood. Cross creates space, but ASD arrives. It'll connect with the lightning. Tiny's not done just yet. The Avalanche trying to buy some time for the Ice Path to connect. EHOME with 4 heroes on the bottom lane. Claim 2 kills to open up day 2 of the main event.
Yep, I love the way Innocence, or well, Y plays his Jakiro. You see a lot of the time, pubs, inexperienced players, they prioritize the liquid fire, but both of Jakiro's active abilities are so strong. That level 1 Ice Path, the range, that just 1 second little interrupt disable, that's what actually secures the kill. And he's going to be a force in this game. The support Jakiro, you don't even need that many levels, and your Q does 400 damage, 5 seconds slow, attack speed slow, very good against heroes like OD Terrorblade.
It's a great synergy with the rest of EHOME, and that's able to buy more space. See a new record up for Faith Beyond, no surprise there. Vanguard rush at 6.5 minutes in, and they do little to no damage to that Darkseer, but he does have nano problems when he does this. There's no Soul Ring on this Darkseer just yet. And
what was surprising to me is that the OD was untouched. Like, it's the, what, 4th game in a row now over 2 days? Sumel's playing OD. 5th, actually. He played it in their last match against Thunder Predator, too, and they just give it to him. And yeah, the Tinker is a suitable counter. Yeah. The Leshrac last pick is just very surprising to me. We'll probably be breaking that down whether EHOME win or lose this game, because it was a ballsy move.
It's the way you look at it, right? It's EHOME going, okay, we know what EG's going to pick up, at least we can try and counter against that. The heroes don't have to be obvious, but as long as they got a game plan.
So far, it's working out. You got Faith Beyond with a great start. My concern is just Ego's Tinker. Yep. I have not seen a side Tinker in like years.
It's like he's just playing catch up. which the Tinker can do if he's able to farm up some stacks, and they do have 2 stacks in 2 different camps along the bottom.
Concern, though, because now you have a smoke and a level 6 clock. This Tinker is food if he gets caught out.
They're wrapping around the back, looking for the Tinker. Level 6 clock, as you said, going to look for the hook in, waits for it, Ego jukes it up, and they turn their attention over towards Innocence. He's looking to get the ice paths off, but just so heavily interrupted. They're tossing and throwing around S4 with the March machines creating space. And EG, they got a kill, but it's not the one they wanted, but it still puts them on the board.
And that right there is why Clock is such a good hero in this game. Multiple heroes are unable to get any spells off. Jakiro, notably, as you can see, if you're tanking a battery to the face, you cannot cast abilities.
Great scout out. Tiny seeing the clockwork, as well as Tusker moving into the mid lane. They were looking for the hook shot onto Latrak.
Yep.
They also have the Observer and Sentry on the bottom lane that watches that movement out too. It's difficult for EG to make the most of the clockwork, but isn't this what's meant to happen? Like, clockwork rotates and you find kill after kill.
I mean, it's easy, and there isn't the same pressure you would typically see on clock picks where, you know, it kind of all ends your early game. In this scenario, EG, they're confident. Phoenix scales so well, the Tusk save, OD, Terrorblade, like, you have no qualms about bringing this game to the 30-40 minute mark. Clock is perfect, and again, you can hunt everything on the enemy side. It's the dream game for S4.
Thinking about going for the Tiny. The stacking still continues for the Tinker, so he's looking for his farm there, while Tiny just contests the Radiant stack. But this is going to be big now for Ego. The fact that the smoke gang failed, there was no aggressive vision that went down. He needs this money, but he can't layer on double march machines until now. Soaring arrives, rearm is up. Now he can finally get the money and the levels. And I guess he's getting a lot more space in mid than I thought he would.
It's partly because Sumail, he's like felt the pressure. A lot of heroes been missing, so he's just farming the jungle. Already has the treads up. He'll be going for that Yasha Kaya build again. I like that a lot more than the Midas. He's actually talking to him about that, and I think that this is the way to build OD, and he's kind of demonstrating, yeah, he thinks so too.
But it does mean that you get a net worth advantage. Just slipping the way of the Latrak, sitting at almost the same net worth as the Terrorblade. They're both hovering around the 4.5k mark, where you got 4.2k for Sumail. It's a little bit behind. The 10-minute bounty rune contest gets to happen once again. EHOME, they should already get, okay, they're going to get all 4 bounty runes. That is huge for them. The ice path goes down, but already coming to the toss, a little bit of missed synergy, allowing now the hook shot to come forward from S4. He'll close the distance and trying to deny to the Ancients will not be in time. S4's battery assault kills off Tiny.
Yeah, well executed, and that is something we should expect every time hooks off cooldown. S4 can look to find kills. It just simplifies the game state for EG.
Oh, a little bit off.
Arteezy's going to be the one passively farming. Sumail going to look to get a bit more involved, but also just worried about accelerating his own game. S4, he just head on a swivel, constantly going to look for targets around the map, try and establish map dominance for EG. As you said, Faith Beyond having a good game. You can see what he's going for next. He recognizes, look, I had this super fast Vanguard Arcanes, but Force Staff is a necessity. That'll be what he grabs. And look, Leshrac as well, doing the exact same thing. You typically would see like a Yules first, but it's just so value to have a Force Staff in this game against Tusk and Clock.
Yeah, it's kind of funny considering the series we cast yesterday, where there was no counter to any kind of big control, especially against the Tuskers. But it's looking a lot better for itemization this game. EHOME do have a small advantage, about 1.5k in the gold, even though EG have the 500 in experience. So this game very, very close, and kind of what at least viewers would have been hoping for, depending which part of the world you're from.
Yeah, mid, they got A. Yeah, they're going to force TV. So Fly toned up, they're ready to go. Hooks off cooldown as well.
And he's looking for it, but already the attack in from Tiny. Tosses available, throwing him back underneath the tower. Into the Pulse Nova. Not where S4 wanted to be. The Phoenix Sun does come out. They all got hit by the sprites, so they can't attack fast enough. Imprisonment from Sumail is actually going to at least buy time for Jakiro to walk away from this, but it will still not be enough. The Shards are blocking up. Innocence can't walk out, but at least he can get the ice path down, so Fly will die in the back lines. This looked actually pretty clean at the start from EG, but it ended up being a 2-for-2 trade-off. But you do get Latrak.
Not the best trade for EG. They wanted to probably have a bit of a better fight off that egg. They used a lot of big cooldowns there, all ultimates expended, but you know, RTR is just farming top freely. And sure, you're just not afraid when the Darkseer is the hero on the enemy side that's the most farmed. It is a lot of space for Ego, who's been quiet for the last 10 minutes. He's just walking through the woods, farming stacks, trying to get those bots up, 700 gold away. But you got to be happy. EG, you know, trades benefit you. You're the team with the Terrorblade OD. You're going to get a point where you have BKB on both your cores, and I look at the side of EHOME and think, well, how in the hell are you going to do any damage to either of these guys?
Like, Leshrac sustain kind of comes from the, like, Tinker being able to create space. Is that even the way I want to say that? And we were actually debating as well, like if this is one of those games where Tinker actually builds into an Aghanim set, you get that missed chance to allow Leshrac.
Oh, he forced forward.
The survivability is, yep, S4 now will phase boot away. Does show the 4-staff of ASD.
Radiant's middle tower is under
gonna
attack.
look to do something here. You have a Darkseer hasting himself forwards. They're looking for S4, but like he's got 4 heroes chasing him.
Avalanche will connect. He's got hook shot available. They need to get in front of him, or else he'll just hook shot away to safety, or he can just cog on the high ground. But the back pulls him back down again. Now S4's cogs block him in, but the hook shot, exactly as we were saying. S4 goes up and away.
Hashtag
you knew it was going to be a hard fight.
Yeah. The thing is, even if you kill S4 there, there's no objective pressure. Like, mid is at your own tower. The top wave is now being taken out by ASD, but it's just a low EV move, because the best case scenario is you find 1 kill, but it's 4 heroes chasing him. That actually swings the gold back in EG's favor, because you've got 2 cores just hard farming as S4 leads them on a merry chase.
So BTs are up for Ego, or the side lane pressure which EG's been having sounds to be a little bit more restricted. So how hard does EG want to push? Like, your Terrorblade's farming up, but you need to remove tier 1 towers to control more of the map. Because so far, I mean, no tier 1 towers going down.
Look at Arteezy. He's farming in his own jungle with the meta pops. Like, he has no intention of leaving his side of the map for quite some time. And you're not pressured if you're EG. This is really just an easy game to script out. You just don't let EHOME crush through your buildings. Don't make the same mistake you did yesterday in game 1 against Vici Gaming. Let your buddy die, all right? He respawns. This ain't life, it's Dota. And at some point, you get your BKBs, and you can look to take a big engagement around Roche, which another concern I have with EHOME is that they don't have that ability. You can't take Roche in this game unless 2 or 3 heroes minimum from EG are off the field.
Yeah, and you're even more right with the BKBs. This is one of these games where if you had the old Husker, you'd be a very happy man. So much magical damage coming in from EHOME that you start to wonder, like, how do they really hit hard once those BKBs arrive? Like look at Arteezy's farm. Like Sumail as well, they're accelerating fast. Like, this is good if you're an EG fan, and they're going to take top tower uncontested, just continuing to mirror the movements of EHOME. They sniff out that, hey, they're going to be making this play on bottom, and we've seen this probably a few thousand times over the history of Dota. A tier 1 for a tier 1 tower trade on opposite sides of the map.
Yep.
Both teams not looking for the fight, even though EG right now feels a lot more equipped to take it. The Clockwork and the Tusker with the double braces are so tanky, they can be on the front lines. Even Phoenix is approaching the double bracer.
Yeah, exactly, and you also don't really have much in the way of burst damage to kill this fly Phoenix before he gets that egg off, and then you don't have anyone that's gonna click the egg. Like, you got no one to initiate. Like, you may have the burst damage from the Tinker from range, but without Tiny having that blink dagger, they can't even initiate forward. The push is continuing on top lane. Metamorphosis is down. But Arteezy just sends his illusions forward. Keep the creep wave off. Tinker, he'll have to play from inside the tree line. There's multiple TPs coming in. Arteezy now begins his back off as Faith Beyond will join the defense. I love this, though. If you watch, they not only have a ward on the shrine, but look at how Crit and S4 were playing this. They know as long as we maintain presence on this dire shrine, Arteezy only has to fear the tower team.
That invis, he can get the initial stun, turns on the Pulse Nova. Crit and S4 will tank it. The Darkseer wall is down. Snowball save, in fact, moves them forward towards the Tinker, doing heavy damage. The Clockwork will hook away. Crit will die fly. A nice position on the other side of the river gave S4 that get out jail free card.
Well played. Nice communication from Tal there on the Phoenix, just ensuring that his buddy has that get out of jail free card. The second time we've seen S4 narrowly escape. And if you check it out, EG, they recognize what's going on. That was a BKB just completed by Arteezy. We're at barely 17 minutes into the game, and you've already got a massive issue with this Arteezy TV. Tiny on the pursuit, though. Don't think he'll catch Fly.
I just love the itemization from Arteezy. Like, to go for a BKB and not demand a start. Not just try and say, hey, this is a split push game.
And not just that, you can't interrupt the BKB teleport either. There's no way to stop him from getting off teleport asunder. He's going to be able to save himself.
You don't have enough physical damage to kill him before the TP completes.
They may look to just give up mid tower, and they will. But you know, Arteezy shoving bottom, Sumail clearing the enemy jungle after pushing his creep wave all the way to that top EHOME tier 2. You're still cool with this? Yeah? You know, it's an even game, but an even game is not how EHOME are looking to close this one out. You've got to get moving fast, and they're at a point where their draft will spike. There's bots up on Tinker. He just finished his blink. Tiny also has a blink. It's go time, and you could theoretically kill Artur before he pops that BKB, but you've got to be quick and you got to be careful. You are against double save on the side of EG, the Snowball and the Astral.
They're seeing Crit just twitching on the other side of the river. Double damage. Pick up, toss him back underneath the ice path. Snowball's down. They kind of got to stay in the ice path to get this up, but it will not happen. Crit back and controlled. Support is nearby, but it will not be rendered. And this is just EG doing as you said. Let him die.
Let him die. They're doing great so far. Crit not exactly having the performance we saw in his Earth Spirit yesterday, but this is a different kind of game. He's the space maker. He is a walking ward. He's just trying to ensure that his cores don't feel the pressure that he is tanking.
It's actually kind of like a fun build to watch in from ASD with a Leshrac. So he's going in for a Bloodstone. That's some heavy regeneration. Once that Eclipse hits, he can get his life back again pretty quickly. S4 just walks out with a cog. He was looking for divine intervention because that's the only thing that would have saved him at that point.
That was a bit of an odd maneuver. Felt like he could pressure the Lesh, but you know there was a Force Staff available too. Didn't expect the +1 from the Tiny, but you know there was no one else showing on the map.
Probably thought he had Crit closer. Like Crit was nearby, but Crit's also still looking to farm up. He's actually building for a full pipe, so trying to negate a heavy amount of the damage from EHOME.
And EG do have to play a calculated game because you are up against a Tinker. He's always going to have an easier time ensuring lanes are shoved. And if you make a couple mistakes, all of a sudden EHOME is going to be off map and just pressuring your side without anyone needing to deal with this Terrorblade illusion spam, because you can just throw down one TP from Ego and suddenly the wave's going back towards EG side of the map, which is why I like this warding. You see two defensive wards on their own high grounds up in this top Radiant Shrine area that not only defends Roche, but like you can even see that you have a triangle actually around Roshan and the next objective they expect EHOME to go for.
I still wonder when someone's going to start to de-ward this Observer ward from EG. It's not the first time we've seen them place it. Inside the dire jungle, they just see this deeper camp, and it's a consistent ward for them, but all three sentry wards that were planted down from EHOME do miss it. The bounty runes happen once again, and EHOME once again will claim all 4 bounties. It's the second time this has now happened for a team that's meant to have map control.
Artur got 1.
He got 1?
Yeah.
Okay, so 3. They got 3.
They probably could have been a bit more aggressive, but again, you don't know what's going on in the team comms. And if I'm EG, if I'm Bulba, I have looked at this draft and told my team, look guys, don't do anything really stupid, all right? We can do this.
They're checking Roshan. EHOME were worried about it. Leshrac's pushing in the bottom lane in the meantime. He's going to TP towards the mid because Avalanche, he got the melee creep that was with clockwork. And EG are looking for the counter initiation. You know, EHOME don't want a bar of this. They just got the Bloodstone completed on the Leshrac.
Yeah, this is a power spike for EHOME. You got to be careful if you're EG. You've got your ults up. You want to take a good fight here. So there's a Crimson Guard mech on the Darkseer.
Movement forward, hookshot in from S4. Cleans up the line by putting the cogs down with the 4 stars from EHOME. Allow the repositioning. Ego's getting the Master Machines down. The Ice Path and the Macro Pyre, not to mention the Darkseer wall. It's causing problems for Evil Jesus. They want to back up. The BKBs have been expended, and Jakiro is the only one to die, and he buys back, looking for the fight to continue. Here's your jump forward with the Thunder in from Arteezy, combining with the Eclipse and Snowball. All of EG are taking the Uber Tribe all the way to the tier 1 tower, killing off the Jakiro for another dieback. Tiny down as well. Leshrac's finding the back lines, but he's low on mana. Darkseer is pretty much out of it, so EG turn their attention to that mid tier 1 tower. Huge fight for EG. Massive Thunder for Arteezy. Oh, Leshrac, are you really forcing this? Tinker rockets are flying in. He's keeping the spam up, but no one's low enough to die.
And you can see EG, you got to be careful about these long engagements. When their BKBs are up, they have no fear. As they fade, you can see Faith Beyond chasing, gets a sick back off, and that's that tiny stun. It's one of the easiest spells to BKB because of that quarter-second delay before you're actually incapacitated. And Arteezy just like, up, casual. I have no more damage taken anymore. Yep. Gets the free Sunder off. You get tier 1 tower mid. Well executed, and that's what EG wants to do. Swap, trade your BKBs and big cooldowns, get some sort of established pressure on the map, take the engagement, and then go back to your own side and farm up.
And Ty's gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
That fight would have been so different if the tossback came on S4.
And they use the Leshrac Bloodstone cooldown as well, of course. Bear in mind the change and no longer sacrifice yourself. Yeah, it actually just heals you. But it does cost a ton of mana, which is why it's a strange item to see on Lesh nowadays, because if you use it too early in a fight, often you're going to run out of mana, especially if you do what ASD did, where he actually put that second point into his ultimate early on.
Yep.
I prefer to keep it level 1 for quite some time because you end up having mana issues, especially, you know, you take a couple OD headshots from the orb,
yep.
Pop the Bloodstone, all of a sudden you've got maybe 3 spells to cast.
Maybe this is also the answer. Like, then again, Sumail, he's now going in for the Kaya. We're not seeing the amplification just yet, but it's the effect of this Andy's Eclipse. You get hit so hard from this, how's Leshrac meant to stand on the front lines if he doesn't have that life? But because now, how is he meant to do damage? A full pipe is completed on crit. There's support, tanky as hell, and now going to help provide protection for all of EHOME.
Yep. And this is where I like what EG did. When they have the Phoenix, you have a Tusk. Both these heroes have GPM talents, and they both love utilizing items. So it doesn't matter that S4 is so far behind his enemy offlaner.
EHOME has to run. That's a double damage Terrorblade with a BKB Metamorphosis ready to rock. The DD is wearing off, and Faith Beyond's the only one giving the fight potential, but EHOME, they smoke up themselves.
They saw that smoke.
His Kaya is ready, and maybe now.
Oh, EG.
There's the smoke break. They know they're up the hill. Ice Path, it doesn't do anything. The BKBs come up from EG way too quickly, and EHOME have to go on a full retreat. Double BKBs. This has to be more of a fight, but inside the Master Machine's not where they want to be. The Supernova is down, so Fly will be able to survive. He was low on life. He had no other choice but a big ultimate being dropped. The double BKBs down. They wanted to go for Roshan. EG may have to think twice about it. In fact, EHOME even smoke. They want to keep this going.
Tinker is powerful. He's got a Kaya. He went for the Spell Amp talent. He's going Ags next. This is the full DPS AoE Tinker build.
They're running top. Arteezy. He's
too
far away. He doesn't have BKB available. He can't even TP out this if he wanted to. Up through the trees. The Tinker needs to keep the vision up. Sunder gives him the life. Oh, the damage! Ego's gonna die! Arteezy, he does have options. Support's coming in from Tusker. How long can he live through this? 17 one charges, not long enough. Into the trees. The Pulse Nova will bring him down. So ASD finds the kill. Ice Path gonna miss. Same with the dual breath. So Crit will be able to walk off any kind of aggression.
Love the pipe from Crit as well. This time EG is going to collect 3 bounty runes. Suddenly they seem to be much stronger. I cannot believe our Thorpe actually found that kill on Ego. That's the big timing for EHOME, is that Ag Scepter on the Tinker. All of a sudden, 4 rockets, lasers bouncing through everyone.
It's like Ego didn't believe that Artur would come out of the tree line and try and run out that way, so he's just got caught flat-footed for a Tinker. That's death.
Hey, really good heads-up play by Artur. He was getting a lot of flack from the community yesterday, although they give that to pretty much everyone. And he recognizes laser on cooldown. You pop that to try and DPS me down. He finds the aggro Sunder and just chases to find the kill.
Bottom lane, the setup's there. Avalanche forward, S4 tossed up. They have the damage with the stun control, and they body block him out, so there's no hook shot available to get away to safety. The creep wave was coming in, but it still would have been a pretty hard one. So another good pick off from EHOME. Buys the space. The game is still in no one's favor. It's 1,000 gold and experience close together.
And EHOME, you can see the way they're itemizing and how they want to play this game. They already have 2 Force Staffs. You've got bots now on the Leshrac. A blink on Faith Beyond. It's all about pace. They want to just sweep the map constantly. Tinker can deal with lanes. The other 4 heroes constantly looking for fights. Pop those BKBs from EG, work them down to 5 seconds, and then the amount of time they need to stall the engagements is going to decrease as this game continues.
Can someone deward this Observer Ward finally? Like, Dire Jungle, they continuously replace it. Doesn't block the camps, but it watches when Tinker is farming up.
And I like this from Crit. Just he has the pipe, S4 going for the Vlads into Blade Mail. Blade Mail very effective against Tinker because it makes it
Crit.
It's hit or miss whether you can rearm into immediate blink if a Blade Mail target is standing in your March of Machines, because you're constantly bombarded with those tiny ticks of damage.
True. Just liking the way Crit plays that with a little bit of extra information. He walks down the river and not just straight down the lane and into the Dire vision. Able to avoid the EG gank. Avoid the EHOME gank.
Ayasha finished on Sumail, going for the Dragon Lance next, probably into a Hurricane Pike at
S4. Rocket reveals the Tinker, but Tinker completed his TP out only just in time.
S4, and you can even see, look at Fly, he's doubled down. He bought a Midas. I think he finished that like post 20 minutes, but you just don't care because if you're EG, you know, like it's so much easier to kill a Tinker than it is for your enemy to kill your Terrorblade. Just the way this game functions. EHOME, you have a couple Force Staff, sure, but there's no hard save like an Astral, like a Snowball.
Yep. And
it's S4, like you can't itemize against this. If he finds the Tinker, he's in trouble and isolated. That's the real target for EG. Baleshrak as well of ASD. Going to start dealing some heavy damage. Expect him to get that level 20 Pulse Nova damage talent. Already 3 points in his ult. He'll start doing 230 a tick once he skills that up. He's going to be going for BKB next. Butterfly finished on Artor, so he's just going to accelerate even faster. Roche eventually will become an objective here, but it's so difficult for either team to fight the enemy in the pit if they're grouped up in a choke point. Yep. So wait for a more considerable advantage, a numbers advantage specifically, if you're EG.
Just side lane pressure. Tier 2 for Tier 2 tower. S4 is trying to keep Tinker on his toes, always that Clockwork rocket out. This is the primary reason why the Clockwork was the 5th pick from EG. They needed a catch against the Tinker. But how many times have we also seen this? Tiny sitting on the bottom lane, just mopping up the creep waves, always adding side lane pressure. Faith Beyond's taking care of the mid. And eventually EG will want to come high ground, but up against a Tinker, even like Tinker and Lightning, it's so difficult to do, and right now it's EHOME who's winning the Tier 3 damage battle. Yep.
And you can see the difference in just concept. EG running more of a obviously a 2-core lineup, 2-3. EHOME with 3 cores and then, you know, a 4 and a very poor 5. Both supports of EG, thanks to the Midas, the GPM talents, they're going to scale. So sure, S4, like his net worth has been pretty static, but he's got his core items up. He has no problem with rich supports in a game like this. And it's more space for the Sumail and Arteezy dual core.
Oscar's been forced back, thanks to Observer and Sentry Ward up on the hillside. This tiny Shadow Blade will not be able to catch up more, but the Observer and Sentry from Dire side will be able to see Terrorblade, but they want to find Clockwork. Toss him back in, perfect ice path. There will be the problematic of that Blade Mail of Clockwork, but they just tank through it. Yep. And find the kill, a quick D-ward, but the Darkseer wall creates the illusions. Terrorblade wanting to walk away. He's got BKB available, the ice path's already connected to Terrorblade on the Half-Life. Remember that Sunder BKB. They need to burst him down, and now he'll BKB, looking for a Sunder target. It's going to be the Darkseer. Beyond. The support is moving in, TPing to the Shrine. These BKBs, they're wearing out quickly because they bought them so early. They're forced stepping forward. They still want the Terrorblade. No Thunder, no BKB. Tiny, toss them up in the air. The Ice Path won't connect, but maybe with the Shrine in the middle of the fight. Defense Brisbane is doing the work. And Tabasco creates space in the back line. He's got the space created and the shot blocker. They will not force it any further. Tiny dies. And you managed to keep Arteezy alive on the whole of EHOME, chasing him to kill him. What objective they had?
That was a confident move by Arteezy. He pops the BKB and doesn't teleport out immediately as he could have. Instead, choosing to trust his teammate. Sumail coming with the clutch Astral just before Flesh unconnected, and that's the issue. Once you're Astral defensively and the egg on top, if you're EHOME, it's indefensible. You cannot continue trying to assault EG backlines because they're just too powerful. The turnaround potential of a Tusk and a Claw catching you off guard, like
the double save.
Blink on OD ready.
Hook shots out, and you'll say goodbye to Innocence. TB the try is being cancelled.
I like this item from Sumail now. All of a sudden, he can find on top of whatever target S4 gives him. That's the hero now, later in this game.
Surging. Tiny forward. He's not underneath the sentry wall. They've got their own sentry. Now he is visible. And he jumps in. Double avalanche. They need a combination. The stun with the back with the BKBs from Samel come up. He's got Eclipse available. He can just drop it on the heads to the north if he wants to find the kill. But he doesn't have the vision to play with. Now his BKB will wear off. Defensive imprisonment. Is there a follow-up? Douglas Drake. He grabs it. The ice pass. Samel. He blinks away. Cripple go into the circle. Maybe a big ball space of the shot. He controls up 3 in the back line. Another defensive imprisonment from Samel. Cripple finally goes down to the Daemon of Tinker, but then look for a force up in the Samel is style. He did not have enough style to get away from that EHOME lineup.
Overconfidence from EG. Meta's on cooldown. Arteezy had teleported out towards bottom. You do not want to be there. It's fine to lose Tusk, like we said, but Sumail just a bit over-aggressive.
They're going again. Avalanche in. Arteezy now the target in mid. They want him to burn this BKB again. He can send a life on Tiny, but it's not a lot of life. He gets back, and the ice pass will miss this. Mid, not mid, the split out his BKB. He's around, looking for the kill onto the track. Underneath the Super River. Feels more confident. S4 as well, but they don't have a lot of life. The Super River will connect over on high ground, but with the avalanche behind the line, they still need to keep moving north. It's just not possible. EHOME, they're sliding all over EG, and EG is slippery as hell, all down into the grave. 5 heroes die, crit respawns quickly, and EHOME, they're getting fights they've always dreamed of.
Arteezy's experiment a region towards mid. I understand you don't want to allow these lanes to head towards your structures, but you've got 2 heroes dead. There's no reason EG should be taking that fight aggressively. Like, saving Arteezy is the goal. Even if he's got a BKB run away, so be it. It's all right down to 6 seconds. Like,
Crit, he's walking in. He thought he could go for some shenanigans, but the Observer and Sentry is up. Tiny keeps him occupied as Roshan will go down, but you know support wants to jump over. In fact, it's going to be Crit starting up the unit counter-indication onto Tiny, giving Samel Smith help up. So Tiny will throw away his life to create the space for EHOME to get the Aegis of the Immortal. And that is in the hands of Leshrac. A 20 Bloodstone charge now, Leshrac.
Yeah. Goes back to the concept that we've seen by many of the top teams in this tournament. Which draft scales more to deal building damage? That's what EHOME is working against. You're playing great. They're playing better than EG right now, but they don't have the ability to punish mistakes like EG does. If EG takes 1 fight and Terrorblade's alive, Tinker's dead, that's a Rax, maybe 2. This huge fight, you wipe your enemy and you get just the Roshan, and even that was a little close because you got immediately. You don't have the time anymore to look and establish a map just because you don't have physical damage and nobody's going to be scaling to do that.
It's like all you really have is Edict. That's it. Like,
yeah.
Diabolic Edict from the track, and you do have Tiny with. They are pretty damn good at bringing down builder. Crit,
they saw
under the Invis rune, Sentry Wolf is there. They back him back in, and that is one very dead Tuskar. Dead for 50 seconds. EHOME with an Aegis Immortal behind them. Maybe they feel confident enough to force down some lanes. Go down mid. Actually use that Diabolic Edict.
The OD blink after Astral we just saw abused by Sumail. I believe that was because the ice path had not formed yet. You have 2 ways on EHOME to prevent that. If you, like, I don't know how to explain it, but like frame canceling stuns Moran arrow. If you spawn in the arrow, you're stunned. You cannot blink away. The same way it functions with vacuum, if you just come out into it. And I believe ice path, although I know you can BKB coming down from a Yules into an ice path. I don't believe you can blink, but I imagine we'll probably see that interaction soon.
Yeah, just an educational thread. Everyone, how does Ice Path interact with every single stun that's available in the game?
It's not like there's any rules to this, okay? Like, it's just ice from, like, hey, this is how it works. And he'll change it. It's
just like, yeah, in Omni Slash you can TP out now. Yeah, that. It's just Dota, everyone. It's just Dota. In the words of Lacoste, can I get some frogs in chat? He loves that.
Level 18 on the Phoenix now, so he's got that maxed out egg, and I don't think EHOME can reliably target it. I expect Fido at some point. He's actually going for a Radiance. I mean, this man is wealthy. But pretty soon S4 is going to find himself in the Zai location where he's just the cheapest player on his team.
Is EHOME reading this? They got a Tinker Ward down. EG is preparing a gank.
They pinged out Arteezy. They know he's not here.
The rock comes out, and they need to get the avalanche through the tree lines. Clockwork should be okay. The tree tops will not be able to reach him, but underneath the Observer Ward, that is, well, I guess S4 can have a very good vision of his own death.
EG's gem timing going to be critical because right now they're consistently playing under wards placed by EHOME. You don't want to grab it too early because then you might potentially lose it, and then all of a sudden EHOME's massive lane shove pickoff potential.
Looking forward, looking for the kill on Arteezy, but Arteezy only to walk a little bit forward. Avalanche toss, something to save D. The Eagles more break. Arteezy still has his BKB as well as the Thunder. This is going to be a hard fight for EHOME to take, though in this hard the Darksteel and the Magpie. They even have the damage. Perfect. Phoenix Sun is out. EHOME must retreat. Tuskar will fall. EHOME do get out of range of the Phoenix Sun. You've got Leshrac on the run, banished up. He triggered Bloodstone, so he already got his life back up. But the Tinker, the late, the Sun Ray will come through. Track goes. Tiny on him too. Fly is going to do so much work. He'll get the kill on Tiny in the back line. While Jakira to the front, they will double kill.
Fight's not a favorable location for EHOME. You want to be around clear or structures. You have on your side, and the nearest is a full 2 blinks distance away where you can start getting knocked off liably. I'm just playing PG. This is how they win fights. You can't kill Arteezy reliably anymore. Just say panic. 2,500 HP.
Like if this really is completely China, it's the mid-game run at you. They took the fight up on top. There was a ward inside the radiant jungle, and that's why you saw Leshrac just TP'd him mid, broke down the wave, and then jumped into the jungle. They wanted to kill off Arteezy. One kill isn't enough. They want to find more. As Fly, well, wants to stay alive as well. Ego begins his TP out. But Fly, you know that Radiance you were talking about? The Relic's coming out in the Courier.
Oh, look at mid lane.
And look towards mid. Darkseer, BKB's available. He can survive through this. He'll BKB inside the cogs. Tinker needs to make the most out of this. Can he actually laser and buy some time? And no, the shards, Darkseer, Arteezy. He's uncertain if he wants to take the fight.
He was blocked out. The tree prevented him from actually entering the ice shard. May have been able to finish Faith Beyond. The force wasn't on cooldown. But he does have Greaves, pretty tanky. And you look at this, all of a sudden EG is a 4K gold lead. It went from minus like 2K, 6K swing. They cleared out the towers, and this is how you want to beat a Tinker. You keep him in his base. You remove his structures and his ability to play the map. And now, camping creep waves, you can find kills, and all of a sudden it's a lot scarier for Ego to venture out on the map alone.
Especially now you see OD with the Scythe available. You'll have the Hex. It's the amplification with the intel. That's 178 int on the OD, which all goes to buffing up the Eclipse. Thanks to the Tinker Observer Ward that's down. Arteezy knows exactly where Tiny's walking, but EHOME, they're running up behind. They want to be involved in this fight. The Lightning Storm will bounce. He's underneath the Tinker Ward. He'll bounce a little bit further up. He's out of vision. Just letting the rocket spam forward, and maybe they have enough control, but no! There goes your Eclipse. Faith Beyond's BKB will protect him so he can surge himself away underneath the Phoenix Sun. But on the other side, Clockwork dying to Leshrac. The blink forward from ASD gives him a double kill, but you know Samel once more. 28 intel stolen. He hit so hard. Make it 32. Eclipse, he'll have his way to jump back out to Ego. A quick blink. Faith Beyond. He's running back as Arteezy chases him as well. ASD will finally go down. That was a certainty.
Artur has done a great job thus far of avoiding the VAC wall. Even if you're BKB'd, you will spawn a wall illusion, and that solves a lot of EHOME's physical damage problems if all of a sudden they have a Terrorblade of their own, dealing almost 100% damage. You don't get certain item bonuses. But, man, like, this feels like just an easy game for EG, similar to Vici in their last series, where Vici Gaming just drafted themselves into a hole. They put themselves on a clock in that decisive game 3, and even though, like, I don't even know if EG feels like they outplayed Vici. They were just in a position where they had a much cleaner draft, and it was far easier to execute. EHOME, they put themselves on a clock. They are up against the clock, and it's not working out too well.
I get that, but at the same time, I feel like EHOME's team fight, it still has a lot of bite to it. And their counter push that can come from inside the base is also quite good. So does EG continue to find these fights outside the base?
Not if EHOME stands as 4 heroes on their high ground, but it's possible. It all comes down to the gem timing. I think that's the next play here for EG. I expect to see someone grab that pretty soon and just start to limit the vision of EHOME. You can see Arteezy sending a TB illusion, hopefully to check those bottom bounties. I see them being pinged out, but I think that was EHOME. Somebody should go grab those.
Yeah,
you've got a lot of gold.
You've got Tinker with Refresher Blink. He can, like, when Tinker is inside your own base, you know there's issues.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's really changed about late game Dota. We don't typically see games go too long anymore. When you get to this stage, that bounty, 122 gold. EG's advantage, like, they just went up so like 2,200 off those 4 bounties they collected. You don't really need to do anything. Look at it, from 5 to 10 in a couple of minutes. And a lot of it's just those bounties. A product of establishing map control, keeping EHOME in their base is you don't really need to do anything. Just keep grabbing the runes, kill the next Roche, and your advantage at some point is going to be insurmountable.
They're looking for a toss-back target. Tiny is trying to find one. Faith Beyond blinks forward, but this can definitely reveal the fact that Vision is on the hill. And they're pinging it out. We need a sentry ward to the front lines. And hey, look, Phoenix. I think he's got a little bit of cash, Kyle.
Just a little. I mean,
90 gold per minute plus the Hand of Midas.
And this is the key item. Look at what Sumail's got queued up. Refresher shard, baby. This, I don't know what to do as EHOME's side. You have a BKB able to be completed on the Tinker. You already have one on Faith Beyond's Darkseer and the ASD Leshrac. It's just a concern that, like, double Hex, double BKB, you just can't mess with Sumail ever if he's got his cooldowns available.
EHOME stuck inside their base as well, so there's no way they can contest EG's Roshan. Like, they can smoke, they can search, but by the time they even get to the tier 2 tower position, Roshan is taken by evil geniuses. And in fact, they're smoking up and the line is drawn to go south. They want to go the bottom lane, mid as well as top. Has pushed out a little bit. A BT down from the Tinker. Clockwork, he reveals himself. He turns on the Blade Mail, so that's why there's no blink available. And OD also arrives. Tinker will just go down. Buyback's available. And I think EHOME were trying to bait with their Tinker, but now it turns into something else. Double TPs down to the Shrine. They're in full retreat, EHOME.
Yeah, well played. That's all the Tinker Ward. I mean, S4, great positioning. He's not with his team. He's not roshing. He's actually playing as far from the pit as possible because that's the lane Tinker will feel the safest in.
Oh, Chukura macro pies the bottom lane. They won't have that deep push in the mid. 4-star forward, Tiny. He's got Shadow Blade available. They don't have any detection inside the base, but they don't want to have to buy back on Tinker. So Faith Beyond, he'll burn the wall to create a copy of the Terrorblade. Wants to try and keep it alive. Sumail jumps in to try and get rid of it, but it won't happen.
You don't need EG, just go top. You know, the wall's down. This is the big damage. This is the only way EHOME gets physical damage.
No Macropire, no wall. Tinker still refusing to buy back. Fortification is up. ASD has returned to the lane. But it looks like evil geniuses and will take this top lane of Rax.
Watch for Sumail to just get active. He's so threatening. There he is.
Buyback from the Tinker. Terrorblade, so much damage, so much lifesteal thanks to the Satanic Tinker. Will finally buy back. And Sumail, he's underneath the fountain. Drops the a triple kill on the back of $36 int. Man, EHOME have to be, well, yeah. Get educated.
Tinker's death. That was the Tinker buyback.
This is the game, really. Without Tinker, there's no way that EHOME can really defend their lane of their base.
What I said, one fight, one kill. Tinker's dead. Oh, well, easy win.
Just like Powerball, one fight can change it all for you. Even Refresher all being purchased up by Terrorblade. They got the Hex out. They damage onto Jakiro. Sumail hits like a truck, 40 stolen intelligence. They're trying to get the counter kill into him. Sumail is low, but he will be able to survive. And in fact, they go in even deeper. Sumail actually got the stunted life out from the Terrorblade, and that's who ASD is chasing down. He's forgotten the rest of his team. He's chasing after the Terrorblade, but it won't happen. Hook shot avoided. ASD, he's buying time, but I'm not quite certain time for what.
Look at where Sumail is. He's in the base, casually just hurricane fighting.
Just killing everybody.
He's buying the refresher.
Oh, yeah. He actually bought it before he must have sold and repurchased it with the Eclipse. He gets one more kill into Faith Beyond. Leshrac is still battling as much as he can over towards the Shrine to get some mana back so he can try and battle against Crypt, but won't. He'll blink down instead.
The Tinker's still dead for 37 seconds.
They can't take full megas. The tier 2 tower is alive on bottom. So they have a little bit of time. ASD will now just, with the bounty room pickup, he needs more creeps before he can afford his sustain through the Octarine. Now he can get it.
Oh man, it feels like it was an EG game. Easy EG game. Nothing even changed. You know, Bulba is just like Ash going up against the Elite Four of China. You win this one, probably go up against LGD if they're able to beat Fnatic. And he's just like, you know, why would I change out my Pokemon? OD, Terrorblade, these work for me. I'm gonna keep it going.
EG seems super effective. But EHOME, they are fighting. They are not giving up. Just like Ash, you keep losing a whole bunch of tournaments, but you still keep turning up. Hey, don't worry, it's the heart of the Pokemon. Wait, hang on, I'm getting crossover.
I mean, they definitely have the record for most top 3s at an event for probably over the last, you know, half decade or so. don't have, you know, just there's a lot of good Dota to be played, all right? Even the ones that don't make the land still have a lot of talent.
Hey, they have the power to fight. ASD's finally having some sustain. They took a long time to try and even bring him down, and even then EG failed. But because EG went for objective-based gaming.
Sumail was in the base.
Okay, yeah.
His Aegis popped 200 units from when he would have been in the Fountain's attack range.
They're smoking. They're coming for a fight. Looking for the opening. RTZ's up on top of the hill. Shards fly forward. Snowball. There goes your save from Crit. RTZ thinking about joining this fight. They've got the toss out. The Sunrays giving Crit so much more life. RTZ still waiting for the right time to initiate, but ASD pumping out so much damage. And Icarus dive forward under the BKB. Still no supernova just yet. And the 4-stops. Nice to get away from the shards. So EHOME. So a little bit of chip damage. It was their initiation onto the support, but they still can't find the kill. Instead, they find Sumail. The Avalanche. He'll get the BKB off the Avalanche. He was never able to connect. Tiny hexed up for the moment. You know Sumail wants to get a little bit of intel. Okay, that's a little bit of an interesting Hurricane Pike, but now the orb. Boom, 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 boom. All flying down to the Tiny. Run home, however. RTZ is taking the tier 3 towers. So while this fight goes on, EHOME are being mega creeped by the Terrorblade. They have to try and cancel any TPs back. Faith Beyond TP. It won't work either. Try to BKB and surge away. He didn't want to have to use that one before. So Crit and Fly will stay on the back of his tail. But RTZ's just going for the full GG. He is isolated, but he has Refresher Orb as well as the BKB. So here you go again. The double parallel wall. They need to try and bring him down. Avalanche toss. That's up to a support. His BKB is there. Not to mention the Thunder. He won't even have it. No one's got enough life for him to really steal it. They back him back in. Maybe actually he has to be pushed back. The range rack isn't down just yet. The Tinker makes it difficult when the laser bounces through, giving that mischance. The parallel walls are there. Another back is still on cooldown for the moment, but the range rack is finally brought down. Leshrac wants to fight, but so does Sumail. Here comes your orb attacks into Leshrac. 12 down on the end, and Sumail gets smarter and smarter. 52 intelligence stolen, and he's got Eclipse up. You know he wants to nuke him.
This is going to be fun.
Ready?
Oh,
ready?
He's going to go
Ready? Hammer is in 3, 2, 1, boom! Goodbye, Faith Beyond. Goodbye, everybody else. The Nova's dropped as well. Sumail is as smart as they come. He'll end this game on 84-88 stolen intelligence against EHOME. It's a smart draft. They are meant to be geniuses. Evil ones.
I agree with that statement, Toby. But the script that EG followed to win